Not that super, eh? The Super Bowl was yesterday. Taylor Swift, Trump in attendance, and DOGE continues to slash and cut. WorldNetDaily Live starts right now. Hello, welcome everybody. Matt Edwards here. WorldNetDaily is live on the air. You know, it's always fascinating. For the past, 20 years maybe, the day after the Super Bowl is not, no one ever talks about football. They talk about who was there, who was dancing on stage, what commercials were taking place in between the game. And so we're just going to keep that trend going today. This isn't a sports show, right, Josh Turnbow? Welcome.
Not friend. At all a sports show, Matt. It's 100% a news show, and to prove that, we have our executive news editor on today.
Yes, Joe, good to see you, my friend.
Joe, welcome.
Thanks to be back here. Love being on the show.
Yeah. Now, did you watch the game yesterday? The big
As a
game?
matter of fact, I work Sundays generally, so it's a regular work day for me, and I had two things up on the TV. The pregame show and the Super Bowl itself, and of course the Fox News feed, just in case there's anything breaking there. And on the socials, I was monitoring Donald Trump's Truth Social all day because, believe it or not, he was spitting out a lot of stuff. But here he was flying in the airplane, and yet magically on Truth Social, his stuff is being posted there, and also the regular X feed from Elon Musk and all that. So it was a very busy day for me. It was actually a fun day because there was so much actual news taking place rather than just the big game itself. Now, I know a lot of people are sports fans out there, and I used to be a big sports junkie way back in the day. When I was like 19, 20 years old, I was on the radio as a sports anchor, believe it or not. And that moved me into news. But I used to interview all the baseball players down here in Florida for spring training and all that. So it was quite fun. But there was so much actual news happening that it made it quite an enjoyable day, because we didn't actually see a football game take place yesterday. It was it was like 2 or 3 hours of just I don't know what that was, but it certainly wasn't prime football coverage that you would normally see.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. We're going to get into all of it right now, but let's first, patriotmobile.com, folks. patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. That's where you are going to want to sign up if you want to get yourself involved with the world's only Christian conservative wireless company. I mean, you dreamed of it. You thought, can I just give my money to a Christian organization and get good wireless service? Well, here they are. patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. Scan the QR code. It'll take you right to where you need to where you need to be in order to sign up and get yourself connected just like that. Scan the QR code, hit the link in the description. When you do that, you help this program and you help yourself. So it's a win-win situation. Get yourself off the other guys. Switch over to patriotmobile.com/WNDPatriot. And you'll be all set and good to go. All right, well, let's get into it. Yesterday's Super Bowl was the first time, and this was kind of news to me. I didn't think that this was actually true, but this is the first time that a sitting U.S. president has ever attended the Super Bowl live. And I think we have a shot of him here. I guess he was saluting during the big flag unfurling and the national anthem and all that. But the crowd, I mean, they just erupted in cheers. The Super Bowl was happening in New Orleans, Louisiana. That doesn't necessarily mean that everybody there was from New Orleans, because this is a worldwide event. But he did get a great standing ovation. While at the same time, I think Taylor Swift got booed for the first time ever in her career. She seemed pretty shocked. We'll take a look at that. But real quick, what do you think with Trump being in attendance at the Super Bowl? It was a first.
Well, you said the first sitting president. Obviously, he was standing in that photograph there. That was taken, just saying, as we get off on a roll already. No, but it is history in the making, because no other president has attended a Super Bowl while they were in office. I think several have after they were in office, that sort of thing. But here he is in office. And I think the previous presidents have not done so because of a security risk. And, there's a lot of people out there, not only in the Super Bowl, but in the cities where they're taking place. So there's a lot more to be concerned about, but not just the president. Everybody wants to be safe, especially after what happened in New Orleans at the start of the new year with that terror incident. But it was thrilling to see the commander-in-chief there, worldwide audience. He was there with Ivanka, as you saw, in his daughter Ivanka Trump at his side, and that photograph was taken during the national anthem. So he was saluting, and she had her hand over her heart, and the crowd did erupt when that image was displayed on the Jumbotron screen for everyone to see, because I forget who was singing the national anthem, but it was actually quite quiet in the stadium. And all of a sudden, as soon as Trump's image went up on the big screen for everyone to see, there was a massive roar of approval, of big cheers for the Trumpster. And as you mentioned, there was like the opposite happening for Taylor Swift when later on in the game they showed her on the Jumbotron. Apparently, she did not have the same approval rating from the crowd in attendance anyway.
No, not at all. Not at all. And Josh, real quick, Trump also, they had some of the families and the victims from that, from the incident that you mentioned, Joe, just earlier that happened on New Year's Day. It was somebody that drove through the crowd in Bourbon Street or down there in the French Quarter. So we have a clip of that, of Trump meeting those folks down there on the field at the Super Bowl.
This is amazing too, because we talked about the safety issue, but here he is just down on the field.
Yeah,
kind of amazing.
The building has a roof, so that helps.
Yes.
Yeah,
not a sloped roof.
Yeah,
sloped roofs.
No sloped roofs in sight.
Inaccessible for anybody.
Joe, I gotta make sure my rim shots are available here for the rest of the program for you. Okay, now let's to juxtapose this. Josh, Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah, I mean, like there was a lot of chat about this Super Bowl, and trust me, guys, I don't really get into this myself. I get to hear it from my wife mostly about the silly relational antics with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and like it's like my least favorite element of this whole thing. So there was a little bit of that, but what was really rewarding is to see this clip of I think people are sick and tired of this nonsense. They just want the football game.
She didn't know what to do.
No, she didn't know what to do. She just kind of froze.
I honestly think that was the first time she'd ever heard a crowd
boo her.
Boo. At the sight of
guys.
her. I mean, she's been in the public eye since she was 14, 15 years old. When she was a country music star and then her transition to the pop world. Joe, what do you, I mean, get into the psyche of someone like that. It's a sign,
everybody. It's a sign.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a sign. I heard the term side eye being used a lot to describe this. I've never really heard that term a lot, or maybe even ever, the side eye. But apparently,
there you go, Matt.
Looking to the side and like, what is this? I have never heard this. Usually people are worshiping at my feet at my concerts. And apparently, she tried to sway the presidential election, of course, with her big endorsement of Kamala Harris in this last election. So I wonder what was going through her head at that moment. Was she trying to figure out, was it my endorsement of Kamala that is getting me this? Was it the fact that I'm still dating this football dude on the Kansas City Chiefs? And
wears disco outfits.
Exactly. It's just amazing that when you're used to this kind of adoration, like complete adoration from the public, like nothing you do can ever be wrong, even though she's had, I don't know how many boyfriends that she breaks up with and then writes songs about them, about how whatever they were. I don't want to get into that, but I mean, it's like she has a history of just weirdness. I mean, she's a beautiful girl and she sings quite well and makes a lot of money singing. So great for her. But it was a delicious moment just to see her absolute perplexion, absolutely being perplexed there at what is going on. This is a sound that I don't hear normally. So it was just quite delicious.
And you really can't necessarily, I mean, I don't want to put all the blame on her, because when you think about it, you know, the entire media apparatus around her PR people, the way the networks have been pushing her. I mean, everything has been pushing her for the last, 3-4 years, and push her in a direction to where it's oversaturated, right? It completely oversaturated everything. And she doesn't have complete control over it because she's still a young, a sheltered girl who hasn't lived a full life, and because you could say the same thing about Trump. I mean, we've been oversaturated with Trump for the past 10 years now, but he seems to be more popular now than he ever was. And he certainly took note of that. He had this response on Truth Social.
If there was any doubt of if they were booing her, Trump made it clear.
Yeah. And then he says MAGA is very unforgiving, obviously alluding to her fact that she didn't endorse him. I mean, I honestly think if you would have gone down the same trajectory, she would have had the same oversaturation in the market. If she would have came out for Trump, she would have had the loudest cheers of the night.
I totally believe that. Yeah.
Absolutely, because everybody loves a winner. We've got so much winning going on here. You're going to get tired of the winning, as Trump likes to say all the time. And if she had Taylor Swift is a winner herself, just with her career and her success. So she's a winner. If you add on to that the times, the zeitgeist that we're living in, the spirit of the times where everyone loves Trump, or the vast majority of the country loves Trump, she would just be phenomenal. It would have done her career even a huge a boost. Not that it needs it, but I mean, she could have gone down on the right side of history as, the gal that supported Trump at the right time. And she could have said, I've made mistakes before with my political beliefs, like, other big stars. I remember back in the day, when Barack Obama was running for president, there was a famous actress named Scarlett Johansson who, when nobody knew who Barack Obama was, she came out big time for Obama, and she helped propel his campaign and his notoriety, not only in America, but around the world. And no matter where Obama went, he had these huge crowds in Germany or wherever he went. There was just these huge crowds and people fainting in the office. So sometimes the celebrity endorsement can at least raise the awareness of somebody. So I know Americans are fed up with most celebrities. They say things like, oh, if Trump wins the presidency, I'm going to move to Canada or move out of the country somewhere. And everybody's like, good riddance, please do. And they never do, which is part of the hypocrisy. But it's just amazing to see how the juxtaposition between Trump and the loud roar, like, yes, finally, and the booing for Taylor Swift there. I think somebody posted on the socials, the world is healing with the cheers for Trump and the boos for Taylor Swift. So the world is now healing because of that moment. So thanks very much to both those people for helping to make the Super Bowl actually quite enjoyable, because the game itself wasn't.
That's right. Yeah. Which is then when most people always turn to the commercials. And so there has been a thing out there being said as well that there seem to be a lot more wholesome commercials this year, right, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, in years past, it's like these like phony Hollywood commercials where it just shows like a super diverse cast of people, but not really diverse. And there's always like a messaging of like equality and pride, and they'll always be like they'll drop in a lesbian couple or a gay couple. I didn't see that, unless I missed it. I didn't see that this time. We saw like kids, patriotic kind of stuff. We'll show you here, but that may be another form of The healing, Joe.
Yeah.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I wanted you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I wanted you to shade me, be my leaves. If you were a river in the mountains tall, the rumble of the water would be. If you were the winter, I'd know I'd be the snow, just as long as you were with me when the cold winds blow. If you were awake, I'd be a nod. If you were a seed, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd want to be a rug. And if you were a kiss, I know I'd be a hug.
Yeah, what a nice
Cute.
commercial. Cute.
Cute and wholesome.
Yeah, and as a filmmaker myself, like that's exactly the kind of, ad that I would love to be a part of and love to like sit down and just come up with and give away to a giant corporation like Lay's to do so. Before I doom on this a little bit, what's your take on seeing that kind of wholesome stuff like this nowadays, Joe?
Well, I love it, and I'm glad that Lay's is showing you what joy tastes like, because Kamala apparently had a campaign where it was all about joy, but it didn't taste like that. But
Her joy
Lay's
tasted like bourbon, Joe.
exactly, something coming out of a cardboard box. But Lay's potato chips are it's a snack food, it's junk food, and yet they're making it sound very appealing there because they're tugging at the heartstrings of Americans. You got children there, you got growing stuff on farms, you got families. So this is what America is. This is what America wants. I remember way back in the days when I was a kid watching the Super Bowl in the 70s and 80s, when the Cowboys were big and the Steelers were big and all that, Budweiser would be the biggest advertiser during the Super Bowls. Like every other ad was for a Budweiser or Bud product. And even though they're selling beer, they were the greatest ads. They had the Clydesdale horses, and it just made America feel great because of the images they were showing. They weren't showing, guys guzzling down beers. I don't even think it's legal to show that on television, but it's just the imagery of the animals and American images, whether it be the flag or the military or something like that, or families. It's just very, very heartwarming. And we saw the opposite in recent years when Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney did this weird can of a transgender or transvestite or whatever that person is, putting that image on the can, like, this is what Bud Light stands for. And it wasn't just one can. Bud Light actually pays for a lot of gay pride parades, LGBT parades in different locations, not only in America, but across the world. And so that was a huge mistake on their part, where, as we saw, they lost billions of dollars in money in just 1 year or in weeks, I think. And people remember that kind of thing. And we did see a Bud Light ad yesterday during the Super Bowl, and it had nothing to do with any of the woke agenda stuff. I think guys were using leaf blowers or something. They were putting cans of Bud Light in leaf blowers and shooting them out, something like that. And it was actually quite interesting to watch. Not that I would ever buy Bud Light again because of what they did, but still, you can see they are trying to run away from the woke lunacy. It was absolute insanity that on the bandwagon to which they hitched themselves originally. So now, hopefully, more advertisers are going to get the message that when you go woke, you go broke, but you will sell your product when you have these positive, joyful, inspiring messages, which is what America is. We're an inspiring nation.
Yeah, Joe,
Such a great point, Joe.
Yeah, but what you also did was kind of help segue for me, because this is the reason why I'm a little bit down on all this positive imagery again, is because it's that very like what you described about Budweiser. over the years with their Clydesdale commercials and all of that, their pro-American agenda and everything that they put out in their commercials. That's not what was happening in the boardrooms, in the back rooms. They were doing DEI, they were getting all that stuff, and then they got caught and they got bit. And it was shocking to Americans to see that brand. I mean, that's what was so shocking, is that it wasn't that Dylan Mulvaney got hired by some alcohol beverage company. Like it could have been something wherever, White Claw, I don't know who, something along those lines, right? But the fact that it was Budweiser, with that history that you laid out there, it just shocked people. It really shocked people, and it really felt like they took a stab at America and who we are. And so now that I see this sort of comeback, like my antenna's up, because I'm like, dude, you're not going to I like your commercial. It was a good sentiment. It was great for all of us to collectively experience that moment, especially in that Lay's commercial. But don't for 1 second think that I'm going to think that Frito-Lay is now the bastion of American, small farmers, like I wish that the potatoes that are in a bag of Lay's come from a small family farm like that, and are just they're right out of the ground, right onto the truck, and that's it. That there's no like 6 months of having to store them in a giant warehouse so that all of the fumes can leave the potato.
What kind of chips are you eating there, Matt?
What's that?
What kind of chips are you eating?
Well, hey, that's how they make McDonald's French fries. The McDonald's French fries are toxic until they sit out. Anyway, I know I'm going down conspiracy land.
They're going back to the old lie, old advertising. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Advertising lie. The old advertising. So don't fall asleep this time. That's my key here. Enjoy it for what it is. Just don't fall asleep.
It's a really good point.
Thank you.
Maybe by next week or this week, and then because of that approval of RFK Jr., maybe next year's commercials will be like Maha approved, yes. Right? And so it'll be like Lay's is
cooked in tallow.
No longer using seed oils or something like that, right? Like that could be a major change. For now, they were like, let's just go back to wholesome. Let's appeal to normal Americans instead of this fringe group. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Matt. It's the kind of thing like, there's still red dye in the food, everybody.
Until 2028. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, though, there was a new company. I'd never heard of this company before, Rocket.com. I'd never heard of them before. Even after they played their commercial, I still had no idea what their product was. But to what you guys are all happy about, I was happy to see this commercial. I thought it was wonderful. I love this song, and it just made me feel united.
Let's get you home. Almost heaven.
Great song.
West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there, man.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, I'm from home. Take me home, country roads. Take me home, country roads.
Yeah, I didn't
good
know
stuff.
I didn't know what it was for, and when it said "Own the Dream," I thought, are we talking about dreamers? Is this an immigration thing? Like, where are we going with this? But it's
home
like
loans,
home loans, right? Home,
yeah,
buying a home.
I think they used to be called Rocket Mortgage. And they just took the word mortgage out, rocketmortgage.com to just rocket.com. But about that ad, and this was a brilliant piece of advertising genius, is then when that ad ended immediately, you saw a very short clip of their coming back to the stadium.
Yep.
And the same song was playing in the stadium, and everyone was singing the song. And you can hear it there, the John Denver thing. So it was like a double ad where everybody who might have been singing along at home, they come back to the game and they see everybody in the stadium singing, and all across the banners, the scoreboards and stuff was the Rocket logo in red. So they obviously paid for that, but it was well worth it, because you just see Rocket and the song "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver being sung, which it's almost kind of like an anthem type song for America. I know it's not the national anthem, but it's just one of those songs that immediately makes you think of America, irrespective if you live in West Virginia or not. It's just the values, it's the place of where you want to be. It's "Take Me Home, Country Roads," where that might be. So kudos to Rocket for paying, to have the song being played in the stadium as soon as the ad was completed.
Yeah, I agree. It was a really great moment. We were, my family and I were watching it as it happened. It's one of my daughter's favorite songs, and so she ran back into the room and was like, "What's going on?" And to your point, it's one of those songs that just sort of, when you think about the zeitgeist and what's going on right now with Trump in office and everything, and it just feels like we can go home again. And there's some places obviously that are still devastated by natural disasters and such, but there's just this mindset that I think it's well worth exploring when you think about where we're headed in our world today. So I'm a big fan of it. That being said, I Joe, in all your times of watching television and the news and sports, have you ever seen an ad for the Secret Service to join the Secret Service?
Well, no, I haven't. Maybe because they're secret, and they don't like to.
No longer.
They don't. Oh, there's the rim shot. Thanks for that. But yeah, the Secret Service is one of those agencies that never likes to talk about anything. Even when they're subpoenaed by Congress, they're like, nope, we're zipping our lips, and we don't want to tell anything about the assassination attempts or anything. And there's still a lot that needs to come out. But to advertise for the Secret Service, I've never seen it. I don't even know if they're still part of the Treasury Division, but for years they were under the Treasury, because the Secret Service was not founded to protect presidents. It was founded to investigate counterfeit money, because that was a big problem in the early days of paper currency in America. And the Secret Service was there. That was their primary duty, was to investigate counterfeit funds. So now we have a new sheriff in charge. And I think just recently, President Trump appointed the member of his own personal detail that protected him in Butler, Pennsylvania, last July during the assassination attempt. He is making him the new head of the entire Secret Service. We know Kim Cheetos Cheadle has already resigned under heavy pressure. We talked about it on this show before. And that new guy, the acting head of the Secret Service, is just, in my opinion, a little bit high on himself, a little bit arrogant, and or a lot bit arrogant. And I'm thrilled that the Trumpster is making the change for the Secret Service. And I didn't know that they had a shortage of personnel, but I know that they've always claimed that they, they're understaffed, or they're underpaid, or they don't have enough resources to do everything they need to do. It's not just the sitting president they protect. They protect the previous presidents, and also some other people who have been designated to get Secret Service attention or detail. I think the president has just lifted it recently for guys like John Bolton and a few others that, even though there are death threats from Iran and stuff, he actually, he lifted their Secret Service protection. So, maybe under this new era, this new time we're living in, the Trump era, the golden age of America, let's call it that. Under this new golden age of America, people want to serve their country again and protect people like Trump and J.D. Vance and the folks who are in charge, because, we need those people around, and we don't need these devious people who just because they don't believe in you politically, they're going to work against you, like we've seen so many in the government do before.
Yeah, yeah. And the ad that they played during the Super Bowl really, it did emphasize the fact that most people, when they think of the Secret Service, it's about protecting the president, protecting dignitaries, and saving people's lives, not necessarily going after counterfeit money, which I knew was under their purview since the beginning. But let's watch a little bit of this ad, because it really, I mean, even as something that it stands alone, it kind of felt like it was just another one of those good, feel-good American moments. Let's watch.
America was founded on an idea of freedom. America's always stepped forward in time of need throughout our short but powerful history.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Tear down this wall.
We've been there for all of it.
Second plane hit the tower.
Our heroes are humble. They have an inner pride to keep this idea alive. Protectors are born, they're not made. America's Secret Service protecting this Super Bowl is asking a few more to step forward.
Yeah, pretty powerful
Pretty
stuff
awesome.
there, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I saw that Michael Bay directed the commercial. So Michael Bay, like the giant blockbuster movie director that did the Transformers films are still his biggest. He actually shot that, which is kind of awesome, like they gave him access to Air Force One before the president arrived. And and then you saw that, what's the name of the new director? He's literally in the shot of Trump with his arm upraised. They feature him in the I think
I can't think of his name, but yeah, he was there at Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like they lit on the line. I think I don't know, dedicated heroes, something like that.
Right.
They have the shot of him, which is kind of awesome.
I'm surprised, you mentioned Michael Bay directed it. I'm surprised we didn't see a cameo of him, because he usually puts himself like in Armageddon. You see him as one of the scientists trying to save Earth and that kind of thing. But and you didn't see, massive crashing. Any Michael Bay movie has
Nothing
all kinds
blew
of
up.
explosions and crashes.
Yeah,
So
well,
No one
or
walked
also
away from an explosion.
Yeah, or also the shot where the camera goes this way while the person's turning their head the other way.
Parallax.
The
That's his thing.
Yeah,
The parallax
that's
shot.
him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. All right. Well, folks, if you want to sign up for Secret Service, I mean, they need you. They need you. They need good patriots who are watching this show. That's the kind of folks that they want. If you got a grandson or granddaughter, a grandson, if you want to send them into the Secret Service, you go ahead and do that. Bad joke there. All right, folks, we want to tell you about the WND News Center. Let's throw that up here. If you would like to donate to WorldNetDaily and help stuff like this show and all the other great works that go on at WorldNetDaily, you got to head over to the WND News Center. It's WND News Center. If you scan the QR code, this is new for me, okay, folks. So give me a second. I don't have any good punny segues to get into this. But the WND News Center, you scan the QR code, it'll take you right there. You can hit us with a donation. You can set it to be a monthly thing or a weekly, whatever you want to do to support the show and to support WorldNetDaily. This is exactly what you need to do. It's totally tax deductible. It's a 501c3, the WND News Center. And there's also a link in the description. If you're adverse to the QR code world, there is a simple link that you can hit, and it'll take you right over to the WND News Center. It is a great way for you to just give back to the show, give back to WorldNetDaily, and the many, many, many years of wonderful news coverage that guys like Joe have been helming. And so we ask you to do that. So thank you so much. Did I miss anything else, boss?
I just want to say we appreciate every bit of donations we get from the public, because unlike other media out there like Politico or the New York Times, we haven't received a dime of federal funding. We've been here.
No U.S. aid?
No, not that I know. Although, sometimes it would be nice to get, millions of dollars from the federal government. We've been around since 1997, and we've relied on our loyal readers who liked the fact that we've been broadcasting the truth for all these years in the spite of suppression and throttling down by Google and Facebook and the social channels. That we're here to provide truthful, accurate information. We try to do it in a fun way, as you see often. And it's just, we do appreciate our audience greatly who have, it doesn't matter the amount that you give. It's just, it keeps us in business. We don't have a huge staff of hundreds of a stable of reporters or something like that, like other big companies do. We are bare bones, but we're scrappy. And again, we appreciate anything that you can do to help support us.
Yes, and that's how you get great articles like this next one here that Joe, you put out this morning. Bleep's about to get real. This young gal here is very excited about Elon Musk and the DOGE cuts and stuff. You want to walk us through a little bit about, we'll show this video in a second, but kind of get us into the excitement around Elon and DOGE.
Well, I wasn't even looking for this kind of article. I was just trying to find something fresh after the Super Bowl. There's not a lot of news that happens. Everybody's still talking about the Super Bowl and the commercials and all that. But I went to X and to see what Elon Musk had to say. And Elon Musk is prolific when it comes to posting things, as you've probably figured out by now. I don't know who's more prolific, the Trumpster or Elon Musk, but it's like they're in a little battle to see who can put out the most on their social channels. But I went to Elon Musk's channel and I was going through and he was talking about a whole bunch of stories, but up came this image of this gal and he didn't comment on this. He just reposted this video of this young woman somewhere in America. I'm not even sure what state, but she had originally posted this video on TikTok and she was supporting and championing everything that Elon Musk was doing with DOGE and finding out the frivolous, wasteful spending that the federal government was doing. And she made it absolutely clear what she thinks about it, in spite of all the opposition of people saying, oh, he's doing something unconstitutional, or we have a constitutional crisis going on. That's the new buzzword, by the way, for today among the Democrats. Oh, constitutional crisis that is taking place. So just to find this refreshing young face, she doesn't have blue hair and, pieces of metal all over her face. It's just quite a kind of like Take Me Home Country Roads kind of theme where she voiced her opinion, which was quite inspiring.
Well, let's with that setup, let's dive into some of what she said here.
Anything negative to say against Elon Musk and DOGE doing a federal audit, then I've officially decided that you are a part of the money laundering. It's as simple as that. Because we the people deserve to know where all of our money is being spent and what ridiculous spending programs our government is wastefully spending all of our money on. It's not like we get to pick our own salaries like people in Congress. But no, these people have an issue with that, which makes you wonder, who's funding them? What are they doing? They're starting to sweat. And you know what I just found out today? DOGE is getting access to FEMA's salary history. And I am so freaking excited. Stay tuned, everybody, because shit's about to get real. And also, if you really wanted to know where all of our tax dollars are being spent to at this point, you could just tell me the federal government spent millions of dollars to figure out whether or not Thanos could actually snap the Infinity Gauntlet, and I would believe you. Oh, wait! They actually did that. They also spent money on trying to do trans surgeries for various animals, torturing poor innocent beagle puppies, and spending $4 billion of U.S. aid on all kinds of stuff with a certain gray-haired man named Fauci. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I am so excited. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. The federal government 110% deserves to be audited because the American people have to deal with you guys up our ass 24/7. It is about time that you felt a little bit of the
What is it about the car confessionals, right? Or the car rant? Yeah. It's not really a confessional. It's like you get in your car and all of a sudden, like, the energy just allows you to just like succinctly say whatever the universe needs to hear at that particular moment. Like that, everything she said was spot on.
It's kind of a paradox because usually, people in their car, you kind of feel alone there, like you're safe to sing because nobody can hear you when you're playing a song on the radio and you could just belt it out. But when you take your phone, and I liked what she was doing with the zoom, every time she was making a point, the camera would zoom in on her face really quick. So that was a fun little maybe she learned that from Michael Bay, the push zoom. But it's thank you again. Don't forget to tip your waitresses and bartenders. They're working hard for you. But yeah, just to see her energy was quite enthralling, and her excitement at this. It's like people are actually excited. I mean, every time I turn on the television at night, I mean, I'm watching news all day, and yet I still can't keep up with it all because it's happening so fast. And as soon as Trump announces some new directive or they found, I don't know, $100 million being wasted here, it's like we're all cheering here because it's so fantastic that this corruption is finally being unearthed. It's being exposed to the light of day, and the cockroaches are fleeing and say they're not complaining about what's being found. They're just saying, oh, we can't have somebody actually finding the waste, fraud, and abuse here of the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. So I'm thrilled that this gal, you know, she's not a senior citizen. She's probably, I don't know, late teens or early 20s making this video. And again, it's the opposite, because you feel like you're alone in your car, but when you take out your phone and you're broadcasting on TikTok or X or whatever, you're broadcasting potentially to millions of people. So it's kind of an irony there.
Yeah. It's great. No, I'm a big fan of it. So all of you out there that have the ability to do that, keep doing it. So speaking about Fast and Furious, so like Elon Musk, I mean, there's video of him just operating Fast and Furious. Do we have that? And if you listen closely, I think you can hear another department just got closed. I think it's the Department of Education. Did that one just get closed down, or is that a rumor that happened?
I want, yeah, Joe, what is that? Can you confirm what that rumor is? I mean, Elon said it, but
I saw that come across late last night saying per MSNBC, Elon Musk says the Department of Education does not exist anymore. But, you know, I woke up this morning and now I'm not seeing a word about that. So I don't know if it was just a rumor or what, but, you know, we like to go and confirm things.
Throw up his tweet. We have his tweet here. He said, "What is this Department of Education you keep talking about? I just checked and it doesn't exist."
Well, we knew he was going to go in and check the books of it, but, you know, Trump made a big deal about hiring Linda McMahon to shut it down. I think she's the wife of Vince McMahon, isn't she?
Yeah,
the
WWE star Vince McMahon.
Right. And he said that he was hiring her to make sure that she could shut this Department of Education down and let all the education go back to the states where it rightfully belongs. So you and your local communities can decide what your kids are being taught. So I don't know that any official action has been taken. I haven't seen Trump say anything about this, and this could be just a little trolling, as Trump would say, regarding Elon Musk.
Well, I mean, we do have video, Joe, of Trump saying that very thing about Linda McMahon and what he promised beforehand. So let's watch what he talked about when he talked about Linda McMahon.
And on the education department, why nominate Linda McMahon to be the education department secretary if you're going to get rid of the education?
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice. But in addition to that, I want the states to run schools. And I want Linda to put herself out of a job.
So do you want to think that?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So, I mean, there you have it. I mean, he has that. He has the video from before. I don't know if we don't need to play it, but where he says that he wants to shut down the Department of Education. So I think it's just a matter of time, of when.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen at some point. I just don't know that it actually has happened right now.
Yeah.
It could be Elon just saying, "What is this Department of Education you're talking about?" Because it's not going to exist. But I haven't seen anything official like an executive order shutting it down. I mean, why hire Linda McMahon for this to shut it down and then just have Elon Musk have it deleted in a tweet?
Yeah, well, they weren't letting anybody inside. Even Maxine Waters was trying to get inside the building. Apparently, this is the Department of Education, right, Josh? This video here.
Hold your face up. Look at it.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was. So the Doge people were definitely in there doing their thing. The Doge ninjas, as I call them, Matt.
Yeah.
I showed you the
I love that they're powerless to this.
This is like an
this
SNL
dude.
sketch. This can't be real.
It is. You did what?
This is racist because she's demanding his ID, but at the voting booth they say, asking for an ID is racist. So it's just unbelievable.
That's true.
Another
But, I mean, they
Democrat
should-
paradox.
Yeah, but look, we've been talking about shutting down the Department of Education for a long time. And Trump is right. When you look at how much money has been spent and where the scores are, here's this chart. This is a devastating chart. It even includes a line on inflation. This is image number 3, if we have it. Here we go. Look at that. So the green line is the spending. Inflation is that little gray line, and then your math and what is that? English?
Are those the scores?
Reading, yeah.
Reading, yeah.
Reading and math scores
Oh
are
my gosh.
below. I mean,
So they diverge.
oh
More money means less
yes,
education.
More money, more stupid.
More stupid.
More money, more stupid.
But the skills in putting on condoms is off the charts. It's
Off
directly
the
straight up.
charts. Off the charts. Oh no. Oh dear, that's so true. It's very sad. Very sad. Oh dear. Well, in that humor, what is this tweet here from Jimmy Fallia? He says, I know people are joking around on here, but I have a nephew in kindergarten. If Trump cuts the Department of Education, who's going to call the kid a racist and show him gay porn?
So true.
It is true.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Yeah.
Yeah, that system has to be gutted. I'm hopeful that they're going to do that. I'm hopeful that the Doge folks are in there looking. But there's a long list. Earlier, we were trying to find like a graph of national spending because I wanted to figure out where is this 1% to 3% of U.S. aid? Where does that come out of, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's just a giant target-rich environment for reform. And, obviously people say U.S. aid first made a lot of sense because people knew that there was fraud inside there, especially with the inside dealing or self-dealing by the news organizations that we now know. And I think they're going to find a lot of stuff like that, maybe even worse things in some of these other departments. And the big one, though, is, and I know people get nervous about this, but the big one is social welfare or Social Security. I mean, it can be as big as the defense budget. So that makes people nervous. You'll hear the Democrats scream. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask Joe. I mean, I don't necessarily think that they're going to stop those who have paid into Social Security, stop any payments going to them because, I mean, that would just be outright theft. Number one, it's already theft. But to deny, a 65-year-old, 67-year-old, 80-year-old person their Social Security check, I think that's just not. That can't happen, can it?
No, that's not going to happen. And in fact, there apparently is fraud, waste, and abuse going on in the Social Security Administration. What a shocker. Even though, remember Al Gore used to say, we're going to put a lockbox around Social Security. Yeah. But I think I just saw a post from Elon Musk right before the show came on. I'm going to have to go back and look for it, but it said something to the effect of that Social Security funds are being diverted to pay for illegal aliens. Get that in your head if that is indeed the case. This is, again, I'm going to have to do some more investigating on it, but I believe I saw a post from Elon Musk that said something about illegal aliens were receiving money from Social Security.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, you think you have it right here.
It's
There's
pinned.
also appeared to be a significant fund siphoned from Social Security to pay for illegals. Yeah, and then this just goes into the other thing. The other thing too about FEMA not having any money for the disasters here, but sending off and paying for illegals to live in luxury hotels. to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. So
$59 million just last week going to pay for illegals in luxury hotels, while the people of North Carolina and elsewhere are still suffering. So this is what your federal government is doing, folks. They are taking your hard-earned tax dollars that are supposed to help other Americans. That's what we're here for. You know, the federal government isn't just a government that, we're just going to build big buildings and fly the president around the world. This money is for use for Americans, especially when there are disasters and Americans are homeless and freezing out in North Carolina during the winter because a hurricane that came through in the autumn is still being dealt with. And it's just shocking to see that all this money, millions and millions of dollars, whether it's going to luxury hotels for illegals or Sesame Street in Iraq, or money coming out of Social Security for illegals. I mean, Social Security was already, people have said, Social Security won't exist in so many years because it's on the rocks, it's on the bubble, it can't survive. But when you take out the money for Americans and give it to illegal aliens, that is an astonishing scandal. So it's just, we're finding out, and I still think we're at the tip of the iceberg about how deep the rot, the virus, the sickness, the cancer goes. And it was because of, all these administrations before, whether they were Republican or Democrat, probably mostly Democrat, but even during the Republican times, the Republican presidents, and we've had a few Republican presidents over the years, they did not dive into it like Trump is doing it to surgically remove the cancerous spending that is taking place. So yes, I agree with that young girl in the car singing the praises of Elon Musk, because we need to know where our money is being spent, where it's being wasted. And not only that, throw these people in jail who diverted the funds to these illegal causes.
Joe, that's
absolutely. Amen, Joe.
Yeah, amen, Joe.
I don't get a rim shot after that. I get an amen.
Yeah, that's your, yeah.
We need the audience clap, Matt. The audience clap, Yes.
I won't give you the side eye like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. No, it's so, it's so true. And I just think like you said, the tip of the iceberg here. And meanwhile, the left is they've lost the narrative so hard that they sit here and they say that Elon is the worst, and he's the bad guy in all this, and that we're being run by billionaires and oligarchs. And it's just like, are you even paying attention? Are you even paying attention? And the answer is no, they're not paying attention because they're out of their mind.
They're going to start to pay attention though, Matt, when the DOGE starts to affect their money. They're going to start to lose it. I'm still trying to imagine what can they do, because it's pretty feckless to show up with poor deaf, what's her name? Maxine Waters, and demand that one single dude with no firearm or anything get out of the way. And he just says, no. Yeah. So they don't seem to have much recourse. I'm sure they're planning it now, but
they've got nothing. You have
it doesn't look like it.
You have one of the oldest sitting congressmen standing outside, one guy, and she's like, "Hi, he won't let me in. Like, just walk in. What is he gonna do?" But guys, I don't know. I thought she had security.
Even
it's so
their pop culture witch, Taylor Swift, has lost her power over the people.
Oh my goodness.
She'll write a song about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be called Powerless.
All right, Joe, let's let everybody know where we can follow your stuff and make sure they're following you, not just WorldNetDaily, but you as well, because you are Amen Joe.
Thank you so much. Besides WorldNetDaily.com, where most of my news information is found, I do have an X channel at Joe Kovacs News. You can see it on your screen there, at Joe Kovacs News. And I also run a Bible related website called reachinggodspeed.com. reachinggodspeed.com. A lot of inspiring information there, plus videos and books that I've written that you can access. So have at it. Enjoy.
Fantastic. Very good.
Awesome.
All right. And if you guys are watching on Facebook and YouTube, that's great. We love having you there, but also make sure you're heading over to Rumble and X and have an account there too as a backup. Right, Josh?
Yeah. We'd love you to follow us. Like even the clip of the girl that was hilarious, right? That girl that had drank a lot of coffee and then went on the rant. That's not going to be over on YouTube because she said the naughty words, right? She said the Fauci word. I don't even remember if we said the COVID word, but yeah, Rumble will not do that to us. And we'd love you to follow us over there. And of course, our X account, where we're breaking a lot of news, and where Joe and the team are doing great work at worldnetdaily.com. And we're on everything else too. I mean, I think we're on Truth, we're on Gab, all of the places,
That's
Facebook
right.
too. And I think TikTok will happen more often now because already we see that they are lifting bans on people thanks to President Trump, I believe. So
watch out, TikTok world. Here we come.
Yep.
All right,
yeah.
everybody.
But take us out, Matt. Take us out, bro.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, we'll be back here on Wednesday, and we thank you for watching. From all of us here
Thanks,
at
Joe.
WorldNetDaily Live.
Thank you.
See you next time. God bless.